Hi everyone, good evening. I'm Atul Grover and welcome you all into our next session, day 3 session, which is be on the topic called the stakeholders. So in this topic, we will discuss that who are the stakeholders involved or what are the stakeholders as a BA need to be understand to whom I'm going to be dealing to day basis. Before I start today's topic, let me revise or be say a quick recap on the last 2 days session. On the day one, we discussed that who is business analyst, who is business analyst, what is business analysis basically, and what is the role of the business analyst. And in yesterday's session we discussed about the skills required to be a good business analyst. I'll not say it's good, but yes, you have to be these skills so that you can be work as a business analyst. So that include your technical skills, your tool technology, your behavior skill, your domain knowledge, etc. And in today's session we are going to be discuss that who are the stakeholders of a business analyst, or is a BA or a business analyst also a stakeholder in the industry. So starting today's topic. So the first slide say that who is the stakeholder. So before we start the discussion onto the slides, let me understand, or let me tell you from the layman language, or maybe I will use some Hindi words as well in today's discussion because need to be understand. Whenever you work for someone and you want to provide some services, don't go in the meaning of the services basically. So these are the terms which I'm picking up from that as ITIL or ITSM terminologies at point of time. So when you start any work for someone and you have to be accountable or maybe responsible for that work, and the other person is asking you on the updates on the reports, or maybe the other person is working with you on that particular task, is called the stakeholder for me. So if I take a normal example of a layman language, in my family, my wife is my stakeholder because I have to take care of her. My kid is my stakeholder, and maybe for them as well, I am a stakeholder for them. Because tomorrow, if we are going to planning to go out somewhere, they will ask me, and my decision may influence their trip plan, their outing plan as well. So I am a stakeholder for them and they are the stakeholder for me. So in short, अगर हिंदी में हम बात करें तो वो सभी लोग जिसके लिए हम काम कर रहे हैं, जिसके साथ हम काम कर रहे हैं, जो हमारे साथ काम कर रहे हैं, वो सभी मेरे स्टेक होल्डर्स है. And ये स्टेक होल्डर्स basically you can start from your family, your community, your lenders, your owners, your customer, your government, your employees, everybody. You can see on the screen here that if you see the picture here, that's owners, customers, government, employees, supplier, lender, community, society, kids, anywhere, everywhere is or everywhere is my stakeholder, or maybe I am the stakeholder for them. Now we will take you to the I'll take you on the actual term or the meaning of the stakeholder. So for this one, I maybe need to be goes word by word. A stakeholder is either individual means maybe for if me and my wife is staying in home and we have to go somewhere out, so she is the stakeholder for me or I'm a stakeholder for her. Group or the organization, group maybe the family persons, maybe the group of friends who are planning to go out are the stakeholder for each other. And the organization who is impacted by the outcome of a project. So now if I take these 7 to 8 words together and come to the layman language, that suppose you want to go in onto the some trip, or maybe you are planning to go out some on wedding, a friend's wedding, and you are planning something. It can be individual, it can be group, or it can be organization. By going to the marriage, it may impact anything to you, is your, and in that case you are the stakeholder for the same outcome of that particular project is be who is going to impact with the outcome of that particular project is become a stakeholder for me. They have an interest in the success of a project. Everybody, suppose now if I say that I want to buy a home in Pune, so me and my wife is trying to get a home. So we both have interest to get this project successful. It means we can buy a project. We buy a project flat, and it can be within or outside the organization that is sponsoring the project. Maybe my family, my friends, some other person, maybe the bank is one of the stakeholder in that case who is sponsoring my me for that flat, but they're not that my stakeholders. Maybe that they're not that my family member, but they're still sponsoring me for that project is become my stakeholder for the same. Because today we need to be understand that how the stakeholder actually impact on the project success. Sometimes I'm not a political person, so if I take example that the opposition and the main party who's leading at point of in India, if opposition decision can impact to the other person as well, other party as well. So I'm not going to that particular state now. So from the business perspective, from a layman perspective, I can say that anyone, individual, group, or the organization who is impacted by the outcome of the project, they always have an interest into the success of that project. Maybe someone say that in my project some person don't want to this project to be success, definitely, but they are the stakeholder farming. Maybe they are there within or outside the organization, but that is they are sponsoring the project. They have some defined role and the characteristics of a group or the individual. So if I say for me, my manager is my stakeholder, it means he has a role of call manager and he has characteristics to perform that role, participating in or affected by the business analysis activities within a change. If I say, boss, let's stop the monitoring by this way, let's do the monitoring by X way, maybe my customer will be impacted. So that is the say I can put it here. Each task include a list of the stakeholders who are likely to participate in the execution of the task or who will be affected by it. Okay, for to understand the third point, I will take example. Let's you and your wife are at home in the Sunday evening, and your wife asks you, no, will you take a cup of tea with me? If you say yes, then definitely the way of preparing a tea, the putting some snacks on the bowls or some other things that she will arrange for you for the for the tea thing. So it means that each task for just to get a tea for you is she's be asking to you, or maybe you also participate. Okay, let me prepare a tea for you, and you can prepare a snacks for me. So in that way, you can say that that one task has been be taken care by the multiple stakeholders, and who will be affected by it. If tea is not good, then definitely you both will be impacted on that day. Your evening may be ruined, but definitely yes. If the output is good, then you will be getting a success in that case. A stakeholder is an individual or a group that a business analyst is like to interact with the directly or indirectly. Now I can be take this from the IT perspective, that suppose I am a business analyst and I am working for a project called X, and there's a lot of people who are to whom I'm with whom I'm dealing on a daily basis to get the requirement, to understand the things, to get their confidence. So I'm directly or indirectly, maybe today I'm interacting with the engineer who is working on the tickets, but tomorrow I'm interacting with the lead of that particular project as well, or maybe the global lead as well, global head as well, who don't know that who is working in my team, but definitely he is be bothered about that the quality of my project should be improved. So by this way you can so by this way I can summarize that who is a stakeholder here, the any person with whom you are working, or for whom you are working, or maybe he is working with you on and they have the interest to success. I'm again repeating the word interest in success. I'm not saying that he always work for the success, but they have the interest in the success of the project, and it can be inside your organization, it can be outside your organization as well, and they have a huge impact on the project success, project execution, task execution as well. In short, I can say these are my stakeholders. My landlord is my stakeholder, my owners, my customer, my government is my stakeholder, supplier is my stakeholder, lender is my stakeholder, community is my stakeholder, society is my stakeholder, and for them as well, I am one of the stakeholders. In the next slide, we will discuss that what are the generic list of the stakeholders available, or we say that yes, these are the main or major roles available into the market, by which we can say yes, these are my stakeholder to identify. Because if you see that we mentioned defined roles, that is very much important to understand. They are the defined role into our industry, and I can say yes, these are my stakeholders. So if anyone, and if any fresher join the industry and he's working in the support project, he say, and someone asks who's your stakeholder, he said that my counterpart is in the on-site is my stakeholder. Even though maybe he's the end user, he's a consumer, he's a customer, but definitely it is a stakeholder, he's a stakeholder for my operation guys. So I'll start with a list here. I'll not go in the deep dive, but still to be understand this, I mentioned one liners from into this. Business analyst, yes, business analyst himself is a stakeholder for the complete organization, or the for that particular project, I can say, because he is the responsible and the accountable for the execution of all these activities. And this is the first of the main activity, main task of the business, is to understand that who are the stakeholder, to whom he is going to be approached, how the stakeholder management can be done. I'm not going to be discuss that what is the stakeholder management, that is a complete different topic, but here as a business analyst I want to be tell you that who is the stakeholder for me. Customer. Customer is the one of the stakeholder. A customer uses or may use products or the services produced by the enterprise and may have contractual or the moral rights moral rights that enterprise is obliged to be meet. It means maybe he's the end person for you who is going to be use this particular who is going to be use that particular product or the services, and maybe he has some moral or the contractual obliged, maybe he has to pay something for you to use their services, is a stakeholder for you. End user are the stakeholders who directly interact with the solution. End user can include all the participant in business process or user product or the solution. Suppose if any company launching a new phone, I am an end user for the same, so I'm a stakeholder for the same, and they want that the solution should be available directly to me. But how the solution can be available is be done by some other person in the background. Operational support guy, it means the person who is dealing in day to day with the customers or the consumers, and who is maintaining and managing that particular process is called the operational support. They also one of my stakeholder, because they are the actual one they are the actual one who are facing the issue on day to day basis and raising a request to fix that part. And it means they are the one who are the prime stakeholders for me, by from whom I can get the requirement. Project manager is one of the stakeholder that who is managing the complete project end to end, includes the factors like scope, budgeting, costing, everything he has to take care. Sponsor is the one who give the funding to your projects, who give the money to you. Sponsor are responsible for initiating the efforts to define a business need and develop a solution that meets that need particularly. And at last we can say others: supplier, tester, regulators, SMEs, anyone else you can be put as a stakeholder. For me, if person who is doing the reporting is also stakeholder for me. Anyone who is just documenting, or maybe I can say that who is going to be use my system in a very less manner, maybe 1 or 2% only, then that also is a stakeholder for me, and we can categorize them as an end user for the same. In the next slide we will discuss that type of the stakeholder. Definitely maybe this is new slide, a new kind of a slide for you all, that to understand type of stakeholders. But we deal with these kind of guys day to day basis. I'm sure that if you close your eyes for 2 minutes and you see that two, and you pick up the name of the persons to whom you are going to whom you are working day on day in day out, you can divide them into these categories, and these are the 9 categories which I can see the type of stakeholders available into the market or the industry basically. Number one, that is a cat support if interest is favored. Suppose now HR is the more favored when you are going to automate their work, maybe the onboarding process, maybe the appraisals, maybe the rating things. They always support if the interest is favored to them. So if I take example from here, that maybe the people who are be doing the daily who are traveling through the local trains, they are the most kind of a cat type of stakeholders. If any railway announce a new local train for the within this time period or something like this, so these kind of stakeholders called cat support if interest is favored. Then second part is basically is called the elephant, powerful yet slow. They are the one who know that yes, I am the powerful, and if I say no, it will be no. If I say yes, I will say yes. But they work in very slow manner, like the people who already in the legacy system, who is working the legacy system. They know that after down the line, maybe 1 year, 2 years, this system is going to be changed. They will support you. They know in and out of that particular project, but they never be very fast for you to be rectified or to move to the next level of the product or the project. Third one is the lion type, basically powerful and then influential. So here I pick up I pick up my top bosses who has the powerful and influential. It means that when my delivery head or my delivery manager say yes, this can be done, this should be done, then it is one of the stakeholder type of the stakeholder line basically. So sometimes when we say that sometimes our HRs are the influencer, the powerful, because if we say yes, we are going to implement this policy, no one has the rights to be decline on that policy, or maybe someone can raise the question, but at last I can say they are the one who has the power to influence to the customer, or who has the power to the influencing as well. So suppose if someone put down the paper in their organization and want to go out, but when they have a discussion with HR, then the HR is the powerful and the influencer. Maybe HR put some facts and figures from here and there and say, and at last that person is put take off his paper back, take the paper back, and then we can say yes, these are the stakeholders for me, type of the stakeholders. I'm not saying that I'm not talking from the business analyst perspective. I'm saying for to understand the business analyst concept, you should know that what are the type of the stakeholders available to whom I have to interact. And the last I'll say that why we put need these kind of things on the place. Then the fourth one, that is committed to project success, that is the dogs. These are the one guys who from the day one till the day end or the go live date, they always with you and they can do anything for you. They are even to work with you on the weekend, Saturday, Sunday, or the late night, late evening, late nights call as well. They are the one who's always there. And definitely in every project I found these kind of people always be there for the same. Then is the penguin, basically slow and steady. These kind of the things. The difference between the elephant and the penguin is that they are the powerful elephant, the powerful, but penguin is not powerful. They're always slow, but they always be doing the doing and thinking from the right manner. Okay, so if I say, let example that if any student who is just started his plus two classes, and he or she know that he want to become an IS, then he start the study slowly and slowly. But he always be he from the day one, as soon as she started the 10th or maybe the plus one, she or he started the reading the books or the novels, not novels basically. Novels here means that the knowledge articles or the, I can say, the knowledgeable articles or current affairs books, she always be or he always reading starting the same, because now his motive is to be get the project success. It means he is starting today, and maybe after down the 5 years, when she or he be done his B or become, basically then he become the IS as well. Then the sixth one, that is a rabbit, fast and fickle. They always in the very fast manner they provide. If some, and surprise, and believe me that from my experience I see a lot of people under this category as well. It's fast and fickle. When I send an email that I need this requirement clarification, they respond within half an hour to 45 minutes or the 1 hour, that boss, this is the right clarification. They always is ready to give you the more and more support with the fast and fickle. Sometimes their support can be positive, sometimes can be negative, but can be inside or can be outside as well. But yes, they always be there to fast the process. Eagle can view far ahead. So here I can include our the C-level bosses, basically the C-level category guys who always think not from the day one for the 1 year, next year, 2 years. They think for the next 5 to 7 years that how this project is going to be helpful for me in that case. So these are the eagle type basically. Last one, that is a my way or the highway. That is, I called him Mr. Gendaswamy because he's always been his own mood, my way or highway. He said that either follow my way or either do the other way. I'm not be helping you in any other way, because these are the people who are in legacy for a long time or in the system for a long time, but they want the things to be done by their way, not by the as a business analyst view. And the last one, that is the owl type. Owl type basically wake ups during the go live. So these are the one who always be wake up when the go live is going to be happen or the UAT is in the last mode, and they say no, I need this thing, I need this thing, I need this thing, I need this thing. So there are the people also available into the into the industry. So now the question is that why I am explaining these type of stakeholders, and why I say that take a notebook and write the name of the persons to whom you are dealing day in day out, and categorize them into this particular category. Why? Because sometime to get some requirement, to get some clarification, now I'm talking about from the business analyst perspective, it is important for a BA to be understand to whom I have to approach on that particular time. Now if I take example of the coronavirus is spreading in all over the world, and our government is also taking the industry now. Not schools are saying to the government, please close the I'm going to close the schools. Now government is saying, please close the schools for some time. So it means they are the power and influential. I can say that they are the line of those stakeholders. The students who don't want to be go school at this point of time, or the exams, they always be favored. Yes, yes, please close the school. They are the category of the cat type. So being a business analyst, when you need a support from the top level, you have to be think that to whom I should approach. If you need your resolution quickly, you need your clarification quickly, then you have to be think from the rabbit perspective. And sometimes you need that, okay, what the vision is business is thinking at point of time, you have to be go for the eagle type of these things. So from again short in the short summary, I can say that to be it is equally important to understand to whom I should approach at what time. If you're approaching a wrong person in a right time, it will not give a result. If you're approaching if you're approaching a right person in a wrong time, it will not fail. So it should be a right person, right time should be the methodology or the standards or the rules a business analyst need to be understand. So this is for the today's topic. Now I'm going to the next slide, basically feedback. So I from the last few days I'm seeing that you are viewing my video in very much and liking that as well. So now it's time for you to be share some idea, responses, opinions, survey, comments, rating and results, and advice to me that how more I can be improve this these sessions from the last 3 days. Now next tomorrow or maybe day after tomorrow we'll going to discuss the BACCM concept of the BA, where we see the actual terminologies which are going to be used into the next coming slides. So stay tuned. Thank you so much guys for your time and support. Let's connect tomorrow.